In a grand display of diplomatic symbolism and geopolitical intent, Chinese President Xi Jinping visited Moscow this week to meet with his Russian counterpart, Vladimir Putin. The timing was no coincidence. The visit aligned with Russia's celebration of the 80th anniversary of the Allied victory over Nazi Germany in World War II, a symbolic event deeply rooted in Russia's national identity and political narrative. But this meeting wasn't just about commemorating the past. It was about shaping the future. President Xi's presence at this highly orchestrated event sent a powerful message not only to the West, but to the world. As war continues to rage in Ukraine, and as global tensions escalate, China and Russia are presenting a united front. Their message? They're ready to counter what they call unilateralism and hegemonic bullying, terms both leaders use to describe the influence of the United States and its allies. In the ornate halls of the Kremlin, amid red carpets and national anthems, Xi and Putin met as dear friends. It was a choreographed show of unity, underscoring what Xi called a deepening political mutual trust between the two countries. But this trust isn't just about ideology, it's about survival and strategy. Since Russia's invasion of Ukraine in 2022, Moscow has faced increasing isolation from the West. Sanctions have crippled parts of its economy. Its traditional trading partners have backed away. In contrast, China has stepped in quietly but decisively. Beijing has become Moscow's largest trading partner, buying record amounts of Russian oil and gas. This economic lifeline has allowed Russia to weather the storm of Western sanctions while giving China greater leverage in shaping the future of the Eurasian continent. During their talks, Putin thanked Xi for his support not only for joining the commemorative events, but for standing with Russia during what he continues to call a fight against Neo-Nazism in Ukraine. This narrative, widely rejected by Ukraine and the West, is central to how Putin justifies the war at home and abroad. Xi, for his part, echoed many of these themes. He pledged to work with Russia to protect what he described as the historical truth of World War II, and to oppose any attempts to distort that history. Again, a thinly veiled criticism of the West's portrayal of the war in Ukraine. This idea of protecting history is more than rhetorical. For Russia, the memory of victory over Nazi Germany is sacred. It defines national pride, sacrifice, and legitimacy. By invoking that memory, Putin seeks to cast today's war in Ukraine in a similar light, though critics argue this is a grotesque misrepresentation of the present-day conflict. Still, the optics matter. And the presence of more than 24 foreign leaders in Moscow, including from Brazil, Egypt, and Belarus, gave the Kremlin leader a much-needed diplomatic boost at a time when Russia is increasingly seen as a pariah in the West. But make no mistake, this is more than a commemoration. It's a pivot point. With China and Russia both at odds with Washington, China over trade wars in Taiwan, Russia over Ukraine, the two powers are forging what they call a no-limits strategic partnership. That term was first coined just before Russia's invasion of Ukraine, and now it's being fleshed out through new agreements and deeper cooperation. Xi's visit reportedly included plans to sign deals that could extend economic cooperation until 2030. These include investments in energy, technology, and possibly defense, though the exact details remain undisclosed. Meanwhile, tensions continue to simmer on the front lines. Despite a 3-day ceasefire unilaterally declared by Putin to coincide with the Victory Day parade, Ukrainian officials reported new Russian airstrikes, including attacks on Sumy in northeastern Ukraine. These contradictions underscore the enduring volatility of the conflict. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has warned foreign leaders attending the Moscow parade that Kyiv cannot be responsible for what happens on Russian territory during the war, highlighting the risks of appearing to endorse Putin's wartime narrative. And indeed, Ukraine's foreign ministry explicitly asked countries to refrain from sending troops to the parade, arguing that participation undermines declared neutrality and gives tacit approval to Russian aggression. Yet, Xi's appearance and China's broader posture suggests a shifting world order. Both China and Russia are pushing for what they call a multipolar world. In their vision, power should not be concentrated in the hands of a single bloc, namely, the West, but instead be shared among emerging powers with diverse systems and values. She made this point explicitly, calling for an equal, orderly, multipolar, and inclusive form of economic globalization. It's language that resonates across the global South, where many nations feel caught between Western pressure and their own economic realities. What we're witnessing, then, is not just a friendship between two presidents. It's a strategic recalibration between two global powers. A shift away from Western-led institutions and narratives, and toward a new kind of international alignment, one that may challenge the post-World War II order more directly than at any time in recent history. As the war in Ukraine grinds on, and as tensions with the West grow sharper, the deepening alliance between China and Russia will likely shape not only the outcome of that war, but the balance of global power in the decades to come.
На продвижение взаимодействия в конкретных областях. Главным итоговым документом станет совместное заявление на высшем уровне, лейтмотивом которого является 80-летие Великой Победы и живая связь времен и демократичного многополярного миропорядка, основан
稳定畅通，为促进两国发展振兴，中方愿同俄方一道，承担起时代赋予的特殊责任，坚定不移深化战略协作，共同推动平等有序的世界多极化、普惠包容的经济全球化，是密切协调和配合，为变乱交织的国家维护全球多边贸易体制和产业链、供应链稳定畅通，为促进两国发展振兴、维护国际公平正义做出更大贡献。方立足世界百年变局，持续深化政治互信。